Why you please this here?
Okay.
Why keep the microphone here? The microphone. What's wrong?
So I think we need to just little bit, otherwise it maybe disbalance.
No problem. Let's leave everything as it is. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One time, on a morning walk, I asked Srila Prabhupada a question. It was in Vrindavan. And my question was this. I has been translating Bhagavad Gita into German language at that time, together with Sachinandan Maharaj and Gauravani Swami. And there was one verse that I couldn't understand. It said that, I had my own interpretation of this verse. The verse goes, that one who chants the holy name of Krishna, it's in the Bhagavatam, he has taken bath in all the holy rivers of India, and has visited all the holy places of India. So my question was to Srila Prabhupada, does it mean that in my last life I was in India? And Srila Prabhupada smiled and I said that, and chuckled and laughed at me. He said, it may be so, he said, but you should never think like this. He said, actually, I created a good fortune. I created a good fortune. I heard this from Prabhupada himself. So I thought about it a long time. 30 years, 20 years, I thought, what do they actually mean that Prabhupada praying? But unfortunately, how is that an answer to the question that one who says the holy name of Krishna is taking birth in all the holy rivers in India? So here's the answer. And it's very profound actually to understand that. That 5,000 years ago, there's a description in the Brahma Bharata Purana where Ganga Devi is asking Lord Krishna, my dear Krishna, now you're going to the spiritual world, you're going to Golok, and I will be left on earth here, and who's going to save me? All materialistic people will simply bathe in my river and deposit all their karmic reactions. Who is going to save me? And Krishna says, my dear Ganga Devi, there's a plan B. There's a plan B. And that plan B is explained in 3 steps. He said, I organize that the chanting of the holy name will happen all over the world. Step number 1. He explained, it will go all over the world. Nobody can change that. Second of all, he said, the Bhagavatam, people read Bhagavatam all over the world. It says in Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam will cause a revolution in mankind. There are verses in this regard, describing the success of the Bhagavatam. Then, people all over the world will offer their food to me. Because it says in Bhagavad Gita, in that one verse in Sanskrit, what is the Sanskrit shloka? The devotees of the Lord? Huh? No, the devotees of the Lord will take only foodstuff which is offered first in sacrifice. Otherwise, who eat unsanctified food will eat only sin. Something. Anyway, so that's the verse right there, that the devotees of the Lord become free from sin because they offer their food to me. These 3 things were spoken by Krishna 5,000 years ago to Ganga Devi. Number 1, what was it? Will go all over the world. Second, Srimad Bhagavatam will be read all over the world. And we have a good start in that. I mean, chanting Hare Krishna has become a household word all over the world. People are chanting everywhere, in the West. If we ever fly to Mars planet, somebody will knock from outside on the capsule and they'll say, I'm from Russia. I want to distribute one of Prabhupada's books, because the Russians are everywhere. And so it's a phenomenon. I mean, Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted that the Russian, German devotees will dance in kirtan. It's happening. The Russians are everywhere. I went into, what was it, into Tamil Nadu, in, what's it called? This place, Uti, something like that. Very high in the mountain. Mahamsa has a place there. Koda Canal. And he invited me. Very high, 22,000 meters high, feet high, 2,200 meters high. Yeah, very high. And it was refreshing. I came from Vrindavan, and it was as hot as anything. I had to buy from Godrej a whole freezer, life-size freezer. And I would lie in the freezer to cool my brain because I couldn't manage the heat. I had somebody outside to make sure if I'm still alive. So I bought a ticket to, what was it? Guruvayur. And from there, I was very quickly, I went up to the mountains there, a beautiful place, very high, and completely cut off civilization, beautiful waterfalls coming down. Then I heard from the valley, there was a kirtan. I said, who is having kirtan here in this remote place? And Mahamsa says, the Russians are here. And then Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna said the third thing, that this phase of the upliftment of the earth will go on for 10,000 years. That's where these predictions come from. They come from Brahma-Vibhata Purana. And so, many, many years nothing happens. Because, particularly in Western world, people were running around in bearskins. And even anybody in the 15th century who believed in reincarnation, I wouldn't have survived the preaching. They would be killed by the church. And so it took some time for a liberal atmosphere to arrive in planet Earth, a more cosmopolitan civilization, that actually this could happen. So it took some time. And so up to Lord Chaitanya's time, yes, if you wanted to get involved in the chanting of the holy name, you had to have that special mercy of Krishna, that you would find a spiritual master. Otherwise not possible. You would find, spiritual master will find you, as we hear very often, because of your piety of performing so many sacrifices, going to holy places, and that time on foot, and taking baths in all the holy rivers in India. I mean, I took a bath in Badrinath, in that little Ganga river, that it was no fun. It was so cold, unbelievable. I never forget that. And so it requires a lot of piety to perform these activities, and then somehow or other I be introduced into the secret chanting of the holy name of Krishna. It was secret. It was a secret. Who was it? Yamunacharya. His spiritual master told him, anybody who chants this mantra, he will be saved. So don't tell anybody, it's a secret mantra. And he went on the roof, on the tops of the houses, and declared it. His guru said, how can you do that? It's a secret mantra. He said, but it saves everybody should know. So that was a state up to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is the game changer. He changed the whole game from Lord Chaitanya in the 15th century on. He distributed the love, the chanting of the holy name to everybody without any restrictions. That's why we call it, he broke the stores of love of God and distributed the name everywhere. So that was a historical event. Yeah, you gotta give me some warm water. It was a historical event. Lord Chaitanya changed, he was a game changer in this whole thing. 5,400 years, nothing happened. Only in a very secret, the holy name was underground and only knowledgeable to people who are highly qualified. Lord Chaitanya, he made this whole verse from Srimad Bhagavatam obsolete. Because it says you can chant the holy name if you take better. Not anymore. He's a game changer. Changed the verse. That's the only verse I know that was changed by Lord Chaitanya. It's obsolete. Not anymore. Because he's a game changer. Now from Lord Chaitanya, again, after the spiritual master leaves, there's confusion. As we have seen in our own society, after Prabhupada left, Bhaktisiddhanta follows Advaita Acharya. Two factions developed, right? Advaita Acharya's own disciples, they started fighting and bickering. So the human history is in the presence of such great souls, everybody's elevated. When the soul leaves, then people go back to their business as usual. That's the history of the world of religion. Jesus also, he had big disciples, and after he left, everything went, what we discussed today, 32 different upper sampradayas developed right after Jesus, different kind of opinions. And so nothing happened, but then Lord Chaitanya came, and from there Lord Chandas Thakur came, and he writes in his writings that one person will come who will distribute Krishna consciousness all over the world. He will be the, what is it called, Bhakta Sena or something? Huh? Moda Sena Bhakta. Senapati. Moda Senapati will come. And he will distribute Krishna consciousness. And who is that? Srila Prabhupada. Nobody has done this before. Nobody has gone to the West. Nobody dared to go to the West because the West is so corrupt. If you look for corruption, go to the West. Everything is corrupt. Nothing is real. Everything is Hollywood. It's not, I mean, I give you an example how far people are away from remote, from normal thinking and emotions. My father-in-law, he's American. He told me one time he drove through New York. There was a traffic jam and everybody was getting out of the car and looked up. So he went out of the car and he saw there was a man on a skyscraper about to jump into his death. But he was hesitating because he went between his mind and his emotions to jump, and the intelligence telling him don't do that, Went back and forth, he got caught like this, He didn't have the courage to jump. And people wanted to go home. So finally somebody screamed, jump! And then about 5,000 people all started, everybody on the street said, jump, jump, jump. And he jumped. And everybody clapped. And they went home. It was like in a movie. That's the United States of America. Nothing is real. Everything is like a movie, That's inconceivable. I mean, anybody with the right frame of mind will think, how can we save this man? Rather than encourage him to jump just to be part of a sensational ending. That they can tell their friends, I saw somebody who jumped from a high skyscraper, I was right there, the guy fell down and burst into pieces like a tomato when he hit the ground, right? That's America. So, that's why it says that Lord Krishna, in first verse of Bhagavatam, it says that people are thrown in illusion, not being able to understand what is spiritual life, what is not spiritual life. And so Lord Chaitanya, he preached very strongly, and from there it went to Narottam Thakur and all the great acharyas to ultimately Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta, and then all the way to Srila Prabhupada, who preached Krishna consciousness. Now we have this amazing phenomenon that everywhere in the world, I know Namashika, I forgot right now. It was in so long. And he moved on this hill. There was nothing here. And then from one day to another, this temple appears. This is not normal. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And so this mercy is present everywhere. And we have seen how Krishna is helping. Like I've seen some extraordinary situations. There was, in a German court, there was a boy, brahmachari. He smuggled some drugs. Not much, this much, bang. And he was arrested in Mangalore. Police took him away. And I complained, just as the officer said, there's nothing we can do. We don't even know what he did. The judge wants to see him, so we have to bring him to the judge. The boy complained to me on the phone. He called, please help me. The judge said, my lawyer said you should come and talk to the judge. So I went. The judge was sitting in court. He said, Mr. Brinkman, are you here? I said, yes. I heard you want to talk to me. I said, yes, please talk. Speak. So I said, Your Honor, the jail is there to rectify people, right? It's for rectifying people. He said, that's true. He said, he's already rectified. He said, how is he rectified? How is he rectified? Yeah? I said, well, we don't take any drugs, no tea, no coffee, no alcohol, nothing. Not even tea, coffee, nothing. He's finished with that. Nor do we engage in, we don't kill any animals, we are non-violent. Completely non-violent, no meat, no fish, no egg, no gambling. And I said, besides that, no sex. except in marriage. He went like, no sex. I said, yes, no sex. He said, that is worse than hell. Take him with you, he's sufficiently punished. Only in the West, sufficiently punished. It's the worst thing that people can imagine, you know. So you see how Krishna actually saved his boy, became a very nice devotee. And so we have seen the mercy of Prabhupada in so many different ways coming. I give you an example. In Germany, we had this castle, a very beautiful place, for rent. It was owned by Lady Rothschild. Rothschild is one of the richest families in the world, very rich woman. And I preached to her initially to allow us to rent. She rented to us. I was convinced. I said, we're doing so much good work, we keep young people away from drugs, and somebody gave it to me. So then after, when Prabhupada came, he looked at the place. He loved it, beautiful. 300 acres of first-class land. Prabhupada took the land, the earth, and it was like black soil, full of nutrients, you know. Great land, 250 acres with it, and so many stables. It was a castle. And so on the morning walk, he told us that this is a very nice place, buy it immediately. And so we had $750,000 in the bank. And I went to her, I said, did you ever thinking of selling this place? She said, yes, I was just about to. I said, what's your price? She said, $3 million, euros. And I preached to her for 2 hours. 2 million. And I said, we still can't manage. I preached another 3 hours to her. I cannot speak a lie here, you know. And she said 1 million. I mean, think about it, it's just extraordinary from 3 million to preach somebody down to 1 million. Extraordinary, only by Krishna's grace. So by Krishna's grace, these things can happen. Not otherwise. What do I know? You know, what do I know? So by Krishna's grace, so many things are happening, and so by Krishna's grace, this movement is spreading. I remember when I came to Mayapur, it was just a paddy field. There was nothing there. Just what happens in the back there? It was just a paddy field, nothing there. And we were walking this Prabhupada over the paddy fields. Now there's a gigantic temple, there are 20,000 people fit inside. How is it possible? Only by Krishna's mercy. You know, so now you can understand why Prabhupada's answer to me when I asked this question, you know, is true, that he said, I created your good fortune. And he created your good fortune, he created everybody's fortune. You know, that's why we are here, by Prabhupada's fortune. By Prabhupada's fortune, this beautiful temple is here, you know, by Prabhupada's good will, by Prabhupada's tremendous spiritual elevated state. Therefore all these have come about. And so he definitely created the good fortune of anybody who is fortunate enough to live in the Hare Krishna movement. Very fortunate. I consider myself also very fortunate. Because you have to ask yourself the question, you remember who went with you to primary school? When you were in Russia, in the first class of school, remember anybody? Yeah, secondary class? I remember secondary class. I remember kindergarten. In kindergarten, the kids, they called me fat package because I was so fat. And I used to say, it's better to be fat than stupid. I was just a little boy. So they stopped calling me a motu. And so I remember that. But where's everybody? High school, where's everybody? I can remember so many names. Keta Banza, for example, I remember his name. So many. Where's everybody? Then you go to college. So many. Frank Zamella, where is he? Arthur Ritter, I mean, I can rattle down so many names. There is everybody. Everybody went down the drain. And only one person that I know, and that's me, who's still around. So you can see like this, it is very special that somebody actually, the mercy is everywhere. Not that Prabhupada's mercy is not everywhere, but you also have to take it, Gana Ganatvam, it says in the Samsara Dana Nidaloka prayers, Gana Ganatvam means like a rain cloud. It showers on the ocean, there's no result. It showers on the rocky land, there's no result. But it showers on the fertile land, there's immediate result. So it takes two. Mercy is there, but you also have to take it. You have to take it. We distribute so many books, but people have to also take the book. That's up to them. And so in the Bible, there's a story of a sower. A sower, he sows rain like this, on the land. He said he sows on rocky land, there's no result. He sows on the paths, there's no result. He sows some of the rainfall, the rainfall on the very fertile land is abundant result. Same story, So our books are everywhere, but people have to also take the books and read them, So mercy is available for everybody. The mercy is created by Srila Prabhupada, but we also have to take to it. And generally people are not willing to do that, most people. How will they take to it? They have to be kicked. With Krishna it is like this. Either you make friends with Krishna or he kicks you. You get kicked left and right till you finally go on your knees and say, please Lord, save me. That's what happens. Happened to me, happened to many of us. That Krishna will kick you in shape. He's like a trainer. When somebody trains a tiger, how do you train a tiger? First of all, you feed him a feast, right? Big feast. The tiger is very happy with you. Then you go away for 1 month. The tiger doesn't know it's the same person who just fed him. He doesn't know that. Then after 2 months, he comes back and again feeds him. And the tiger says, he is my friend. Then the same friend, so-called friend, he goes away. The tiger doesn't know. He doesn't feed him for 2 months. So after going back and forth between feasting and fasting, in the end, the tiger will eat out of his hand. He will not bite the hand that feeds him. He will not bite the hand that feeds him. In this way you train a tiger. In this way Krishna trains us. Sometimes there's feasting, sometimes there's fasting. Right? Sometimes feasting, sometimes fasting. Sometimes it's wonderful, sometimes it's difficult. Back and forth, till we become completely subordinate to Krishna. Till we come to the point to say there's nothing but Krishna, I only want Krishna. That's all. Like my old mother, she used to say, first God, then there's God, and then there's God. And then there's the others, and then there's the others, and then again there's the others. And then comes you. So it is a very wonderful mother I had. My father was different, very different. One of his favorite sayings is, people are bad. They think of themselves, only I think of myself. You understand? Sense of humor. People are bad, they think of themselves, only I think of myself. Krishna. So we have a wonderful opportunity here to come to Krishna consciousness by doing something practical. Like building a temple is something practical. We all have some capacity. We can do something for Krishna. This temple is built from small donations to big donations. You can give something, or if you don't have any money, you can just come and sweep the floor of the temple. Or you come here, bring your friends to the temple. There's so many ways you can serve Krishna. There was a boy in Germany, he was a hippie, he was drugged most of the time, but he brought so many people to the temple. So many people became devotees of him. And I said to him, this is amazing how you do that. That you are able to bring so many people. That was a SEVA. So many people became devotees. There was one boy, his name was Richard, I remember, and he wanted to join us. And so one day he said, I joined. I said, what are you going to do? I'm going home and pick up my stuff. I said, I go with you, Richard, because I knew he was weak. I go with you. I help you packing. No, I will do. So then Richard didn't come for 3 weeks or 3 months. And he came back, his whole head was in plaster of Paris, only the face was sticking out. He looked like a spaceman in a spacesuit. I said, Richard, what happened? He said, Krishna told me not to join the temple. I said, how is that? He said, well, I actually packed everything into my car, and then on the way, on the highway back, I said, no, Krishna, if you want me to become a devotee, please guide my car. And he closed his eyes in faith of God and crashed into a tree. So to depend on Krishna is very nice. We also have some responsibility. Arjuna was not just sitting down, he had to fight. So we have to do our part. We have to do our best, and then Krishna will do the rest. This is how that works. We have to do our best, and Krishna will do the rest. So this is what we learned from Srila Prabhupada, how to serve Krishna. And he said, let's be practical, do something practical. Building a beautiful temple, you can be part of it. You come with your children, with your husband, and you be part of it. Like I told yesterday, the story of this Gujarati man. His wife was very pious. She would come to the temple and sit in front and participate in the kirtan. He was in the back speaking about money all day. Because that's what Gujaratis do. Talking about money. Husband was not so pious. Many of us have the experience that the husband is not that pious. And so women are generally more pious than the husband. Like my mother, she was so much more pious than my father. And so I thought he was hopeless. But one day, yesterday I told the story, I heard him walking around the temple in a change of mind. He realized he was in the last stage. Death was knocking at his door. So he walked around the temple and started to chant Hai Narayan, Hai Narayan, Hai Narayan. In the morning, in the evening, Hai Narayan, Hai Narayan, Hai Narayan. At noon, Hai Narayan, Hai Narayan, Hai Narayan. He started walking around in a change of heart because death was knocking at his door. And so then the Indian doctor called us. He said, this man, this Hai Narayan, is dying. He's asked you, Prithu, to please come and help him to die. So I went there. Yesterday I told the story. It's my wife and 2 brahmacharis. And the doctor told me it's too late. I said, why, is he gone? He said, no, he's still there, but his brain is gone. He's brain dead, like a vegetable. He cannot understand anything. I said, let's have kirtan. He won't complain. And so we started the kirtan, and after some time, the nurse came from the room, as he was supervising so many cases in intensive care on big television screens. He came running in and said, what happened? He said, the man is coming back. He calls the doctor. The patient is coming back to life due to kirtan. And then this man, all of a sudden, he stood up in front of the doctor and said, now it is Hare Krishna all the way, and he fell back and died on the spot. What an auspicious leaving, what an auspicious leaving. So Krishna is very kind. If you take his hand, and if you don't, well, my father tells me a story. When he was a little boy, they were eating sandwiches in the schoolyard. Sandwiches. His friend didn't like the sandwich. He took a foot and kicked the sandwich over the fence. My father said, you don't do that. Bread is given by God. Don't do that. And his friend laughed. He was atheist. He didn't accept that. So 30 years later, they met in a concentration camp. My father was a political prisoner in a Nazi concentration camp, and he was there. And they were friends, they met each other, they're both political prisoners. And so one day, this man, the food was so poor, only potato soup, with maybe a little fat in it. That was it, maybe a slice of bread once a week. So the man was dying of starvation. He was lying in bed, and the doctor came, the medic, and he leaned on the bedstead and looked at this man while he was dying. And the doctor said, now, one slice of bread would have saved this man. And the man stood up. He cried to my father, do you remember that, William? Do you remember that? Yes, I remember that. They both cried and he fell into his death. My father's commentary was the mills of God grind very slowly but very precisely. Grind very precisely, you know. So he rejected the gift of God, and so therefore that piece of bread that he kicked with his foot over the fence, it was a piece of bread that was missing in the end of his life. Very precise, you know. So that being the case, we should use our life as much as possible to worship Krishna. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Muda Mate. As much as we can, we should worship Krishna and try to do something nice for Krishna. Sing for Krishna. The gopis also, the gopis were doing the most ordinary works. They were cleaning and cooking and making butter and making yogurt and making paneer and all these things like every other housewife. But they were always thinking, I do this for Krishna, I do that for Krishna, I make cheese for Krishna, I make yogurt for Krishna, butter for Krishna, etc. Their mind was always, while they were doing the most ordinary work, they were thinking of Krishna. They were Krishna conscious. So this movement is wonderful. You have this temple. Now, do you understand what I say? Do you understand? Yeah? Nil? Ask this question in your language. Do you understand some? Oh, Hare Krishna. Very nice. So whatever we can do for Krishna, even in Havi Krama Nasusti Pradyana Vuna Vidyati Swapama Pyasa Dharmasya Trayate Matubhayat. In this endeavor there is no loss. Whatever we do, there will be benefit. One time I was just doing books in Amsterdam, and there was a guy who came up to me. I tried to sell him a book. He said, I'm a Jew. He said, what can I do with them? Jews are very business-minded people. Like they're the Gujaratis of the West, the Jews, you know. He said, what can this book do for me? So I opened the page. He said, show me something. So I opened the page and I read to him. In this endeavor there's no loss. He said, no loss. He said, I come from a business family, there's always loss, you know. How can there be no loss? I buy that book. And he became a devotee. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premananda. You have any questions?
Hare Krishna, online devotees, any questions? You can raise your hand.
In this endeavor, there's no loss. You know? Then we can have a little kirtan, just 5 minutes. Nice sweet kirtan. What?
The Shayan Aarti in 5 minutes from now, Radha Krishna Pranmura.
Well, somebody else has to sing that. I sing Hare Krishna. I'm a dumb boy. I can only know Hare Krishna. I don't know. That's not my thing. I'm just a city preacher. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, take this, although I can't get out.
Okay. Thank you everyone. You can thank Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
One question is how to preach youth. How to preach youth. How to do youth preaching.
How to do youth preaching?
Yeah, one question.
Yes, I'm not going to be able to explain this in 5 minutes.
Prabhu is saying we can do a silent aarti. You can continue if you want. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.